All right. That said, DBP's greatest Schvitz.
Horse with the speed of light, a cloud of dust, and a hearty hi-yo silver, the Lone Ranger. This is the legend of a man and a horse, and how they met. The story of the Lone Ranger and his great horse, Silver. Tonto's horse carried the Lone Ranger's saddle, his saddlebags, and bridle, while the masked man and the Indian continued on foot along the outlaw's trail. When they reached the top of a hill, look, Tonto! They halted suddenly and stared at an awe-inspiring sight far down in the valley. They saw a great white stallion in a death fight with a giant buffalo. Pounding, rearing, charging, and dodging wildly, and the sun flashed from his coat as from a coat of polished silver. They realized that this was the legendary white stallion, the one ranchers and hunters had talked so much about.
Hello, must have that horse. I'll try to shoot the buffalo. It's too far for pistol shots. I'll get closer before it's too late.
As he ran downhill, the Lone Ranger watched the battle. The sleek white stallion was nimble and courageous, but his strength began to wane. The buffalo charged again and again. The splendid muscles of the white horse were slower in responding, then too slow. He was caught by the buffalo's charge. Wet crimson stained his pure white coat. Another charge. The white horse saw it coming, and he couldn't dodge. He staggered and fell. The monster drew back and lowered his head for the death charge. And then, 2 shots rang out. The buffalo shuddered from the impact of the masked man's bullets. For an instant, he stood motionless, then fell. Cruelly battered and bruised, the white stallion lay quietly as the Lone Ranger bathed his wounds. During the next several days, the masked man and the Indian cared for the injured horse. Then the wounds were closed, and the horse's strength had returned. There was once more fire in his eye, a spring in his step, and his head was lifted proudly.
He's himself again. Him plenty strong. Plenty good horse. I wonder if you'll take a saddle. Let's try. Steady there. Steady, boy. He get rope. Him run away. No, Tonto, wait. Let him go. I'd like to have that horse more than anything in the world. He deserves his freedom. He fought for it. Now, he's turned to look at us. See how the sun reflects from his white coat. Silver. That would be a name for him. Silver! Look at him. Silver! Hey, Silver! He's coming back. It's just as if he knew what I said. Silver! Silver, you beauty. Hang the halter, Tonto.
As the mighty stallion felt the halter, he trembled as if from a chill. Every instinct told him that he must flee at once to preserve his freedom. And yet he stood his ground. It wasn't gratitude that kept him there. It was something stronger, some mysterious bond of friendship and understanding. He heard the man's voice, and he liked it.
Silver. Silver. We're going to be partners. So yours halter. Now, Tonto, the saddle. Oh, no horse like that. Take saddle. There never was a horse like this. Now, Silver, we're going to work together.
The horse was wild and unused to the ways of men, and the weight of a saddle and the rider. But the masked man was a kind teacher. He was gentle yet firm, and Silver was intelligent. The stallion seemed to sense the desires of the Lone Ranger, and did his best to cooperate. He learned quickly, and after several days of training, he was ready. The masked man's avowed mission was accomplished. The last of the Cavendish gang was captured to be tried by law and punished for his crimes. But there were many others whose criminal plans were to be challenged by the Lone Ranger, his faithful Indian companion Tonto, and his great horse Silver. Hail Silver!